the France Netherlands matchup that we were gifted to see today. Finished stalemate, 0-0 game. Few opportunities for France. Griezmann had two wonderful opportunities. Netherlands had a few opportunities here and there earlier in the game. If they could just get that final pass right, the final finishing touch. But we thought that they ended up scoring the go-ahead goal in the 70th minute. VAR controversially ruled it out. Controversially ruled out the goal, saying it was that Dumfries was interfering with the goalkeeper's ability to dive and make a play on the ball. We'll discuss that a little bit later on the segment, but we have to start off just regarding the game. Now, the game was pretty dull, not the most interesting of matchups in my opinion at these European Championships. Now, early we started off with a nice bang with Frimpong using his pace to run in and create an opportunity for himself, but it couldn't get it to go. Couldn't get the final finishing touch on it. Theo Hernandez was able to make a play. But other than that, it was a pretty dull game in my opinion, a little lifeless. Now, there was periods in the game where I would wander off because it was just not the most exciting end-to-end kind of game that people were, a little bit looking forward to. But I knew this game was coming. I knew both teams were going to be a little bit reluctant to really go for it because I think a point is good for both teams. When you look at France not having their best player Mbappe, him being on the bench but not really being available, they take this result despite the opportunities that they missed to get a goal. In Netherlands, you're looking at this, a point is kind of crucial because you don't want to go into that Austria game having to chase that result to get the win. Getting this point puts you a little bit in a comfortable zone against Austria, in the fact that a point will be enough for you guys, for Netherlands to get through. Austria is going to be the team that needs to open up, and so it was a crucial point for the Netherlands. They don't want to enter that final group game only on 3 points in a situation where you could potentially go home on the final match day. Now with 4 points, it gives you a much better chance, not only needing a draw against Austria, but also the fact that 4 points will more likely than not be enough for a third place team. We won't know till the end, but chances are it'll probably be enough to move on as a third place team. But yeah, overall, dull game, not much going on, and we expect this. I think it was clear that with Dutch they have a very good defense and their midfield is solid too. But when it comes to attack, they could be a little disappointing at times, especially with Memphis Depay, who was hit or miss, didn't really get on the end of opportunities. Had a few opportunities to run at that back line with pace, but couldn't find the space to get a shot off. Didn't really dominate the game by any stretch of the imagination. I thought Cody Gakpo was pretty lively. I thought he was very direct. Every time when he got on the ball, you thought that he was a danger to do something. I loved how he played. Not being afraid to run at defenders, to take a strike. I thought Xavi Simons also played a pretty good game, provided energy. But apart from that, just a very good, solid defensive performance by the Netherlands. Van Dijk, he was a very good sweeper kind of center back, owning his zone. I thought there was one play I thought it was really bad defending, and not Van Dijk, but Van Dijk is I believe he was defending Thuram, and that space that Van Dijk opened up by going up to defend Thuram opened up a whole space for Rabiot to go through, and it was, I thought Ake should have done a better job in closing that space off. Rabiot was able to get through and then Rabiot, I don't know why he didn't shoot. It was a one-on-one, but again, you look at it, he's trying to slide into Griezmann. It's a little bit too late. Griezmann not really expecting it at the same time, is a little bit behind him. Griezmann wasn't able to get that into the back of the net. But apart from that, I thought it was a solid defensive performance. That France, They wanted to keep it clean in the back, which they did. And, if they could nick a goal in transition, they would have took it. That's kind of the game that they were going for. That's what France has always been under their Deschamps. And they had, 2 opportunities that I thought, wow, it would have been like the most typical French way. That first opportunity was Griezmann, and then the second one that came in the second half came in another transition. Kanté played the ball into Griezmann's path, and poor defending. I believe it was poor defending by Reinders, I believe, that missed the ball. I believe it was Reinders that missed the ball and went straight into Griezmann's path. But it's kind of like Griezmann is expecting that ball to be clear. There was not that much real pace played by Kanté. It should have been intercepted. Horrible defending by the Dutch player, and it goes right into Griezmann's path, and he's not expecting it and isn't able to get a clean connection off. It was still a very good save by Verbruggen, and and it is 0-0. And again, good point for both teams. Now we do gotta go back to the main controversy of this game, and it is that penalty decision, or not penalty decision, but that goal missed call. Not missed call, but so Xavi Simons is able to get into the back of the net off of a rebound, and VAR rules it out because it is deemed, so the referee allowed the goal to stand. Then Anthony Taylor goes and have a chat with his assistant, I believe, or he goes to that area. Assistant tells him it is offsides. They blow it on the field of play. They wave off the goal, and then they go to VAR. And VAR takes a long time to make the decision. And, it's something that we really see in the Premier League, VAR taking that long time. It was really interesting. I thought they potentially might have changed the decision because of how long it took VAR to change it, and VAR was not able to change the call. They did not deem that it was a clear and obvious mistake. Their explanation was Dumfries was able to was blocking the pathway of Mike Maignan. But I just want to say, English referees making a mess of a situation again. Every UEFA game up to this point has been pretty clean refereed, and we haven't had any controversial decisions really, to be fair. And VAR has been quick and swift. But the English referees, they come in, and Stuart Atwell and Anthony Taylor. Stuart Atwell was running VAR. They find a way to, they find a way to muck up VAR even in the big stage, the European Championship. So that's a whole different conversation for another day. But it was just interesting that it was the English people that came back, reminded us how poor VAR can be at certain times. But regarding the call, now I was watching it live, and obviously from a Dutch perspective, you have to be very disappointed in the fact that, even if Dumfries is not, let's say Dumfries is quickly, as soon as Maignan makes that save and the rebound goes to Xavi Simons, let's say Dumfries quickly runs up the field and gets away from Maignan. Is he going to be able to stop that shot from going in? No. It was tucked in the corner. I thought he was not able to make that save, even though Maignan had a very, very good game. Was he going to be able to make that save? No, I don't believe so. It was tucked into the corner. So obviously, in those kind of situations where, a potential infraction that didn't really affect play, that being the reason why a goal is drawn out, obviously that's very, very disappointing. Now regarding the call, whether they got the decision correct or not is a whole different conversation. Look, in my opinion, I was watching it live and I was reading the replays and I thought there's no way that could not be considered offsides. Not because Mike Maignan doesn't have a realistic shot to make that save. That does not matter. That was never my opinion. In my opinion, that should not matter whether or not he has a chance to make a play on it, because that's not part of the rules. Now part of the rules is, me when I was watching it, I understood the part of the rules was whether or not the player in an offside position is interfering with his line of play. With this line of sight, like his ability to see where the ball is. Is he interfering with that? I didn't. From what I saw, through that replay, he is standing on the side of him, not in front of him, blocking, in between the ball and him. So based on that rule, he did not break that rule, Dumfries. But there's also this other rule that I did not take account for. And that's why at first I thought it shouldn't have been offsides. And does the offside player affect his ability to make a play on the ball? Now, Dumfries is there, standing about about 3 or 4 yards to the left of McMahon, or 3 or 4 meters, or less than like 2 meters away from McMahon. So is he in a position that he stops him from making? It's very subjective. It's very subjective, because you could argue maybe there's enough space for him to make a dive. Maybe there's enough, maybe he's not even really, affecting McMahon at all. It's a completely subjective decision. And maybe, I should have sympathy with VAR, because those kind of decisions take time. But what you can say from the replay is Mike Mignon, he sees that the shot comes in from Xavi Simons. He's kind of leaning towards making the dive. He sees Dumfries being there, and he slows it down, and then he immediately, as soon as the ball hits the back of the net, he starts, making his case. Now, for me, in my opinion, I think there's a little bit of gamesmanship going on from Mike Mignon. I believe if he believed that he had a realistic shot to make that save, he'll go through Dumfries if he has to make that save. I think he sees the shot, he realizes it's going straight into the corner, he doesn't have a realistic possibility. In that split-second decision, he says, and then he sees Dumfries in the corner of his eye, he gives himself a way out, starts arguing with the referee. But by the laws of the game, I do think it is the correct call, even though I don't agree with it within the spirit of the game, with the fact that I don't think he can make that save, which we never know, obviously. We never know, but I don't think he's able to make that save. That ball is going into the corner. But if he was, well, that's a whole different conversation. But, it was a really frustrating. At the end of the day, it is very frustrating that didn't go in for the Dutch. Now, obviously, Ronald Koeman came out from the game saying it should have been a goal. I mean, we should expect nothing less. Managers, they always have something to say about the official decisions. But I do think they have some sort of gripe here, some sort of, reason to feel a little disappointed. But again, it's still a point that's crucial for them.